Okay, here's one that does not. It's a longer one that doesn't have a video yet recording. It is from Monday, November the 4th, 2019, anachronism number 2925, and it is called Nickelodeon. Yesterday on Halloween, the House voted to formalize the Peach inquiry. Stephen Colbert makes it sound true and funny even when I mishear him. 7 years ago. But right now, I'd much rather be watching the Nickelodeon channel than The Late Show on my Chromebook. I wonder aloud if I can stream it, Nickelodeon. But I quickly move forward from that thought because I cannot turn off Stephen Colbert. My best friend often asks, punningly, "Why don't you marry him?" To which I give him a glare, tell him he's married, and remind him that he's a Sunday school teacher to boot. Then begins a riff in the monologue about when Rudy Giuliani butt-dialed an NBC journalist. The problem is we need some money, coming in loud and clear. Then we need a few 100,000. And I think, corruption be damned. So do I. Only, realistically, I need only 1,000. If I'm being really realistic, I need about two. Just two of those thousands. But Stephen Colbert seems to want to stall my efforts, or so YouTube keeps telling me, using Colbert's voice, of course. Then I remember how different and similar this is to when I'd actually panhandle online when I was homeless. I was homeless. This still hits me like an exclamation point. The ramifications of that fact seem to never end. Homelessness. Online panhandling. Online homeless panhandling seems infinite to me. I am in the moment, so it might as well seem endless. What can be eternally noted, I believe, is that two of those words kept the other from what I can only assume would have been something this weak soul could not have endured. This weak soul. Not to get to this lovely little room in which I now exist, watching The Late Show on what I lovingly call the seediest couple of blocks in town. Well, this San Francisco story might be completely different, and probably unnoticed, not even a footnote would be left of all of what my pink heart-shaped tin full of pennies says. My dream has just barely started. Of me and my dream. Dreams, more accurately. But tonight I am only thinking of one dream, which is a combination of several dreams when it comes down to it. The dollars I need now for a burgeoning business and not a bed indoors somewhere. Note to self. I had strategy. I always had that. But backup plans, they have always been a bit too rare. Sure, I had a job I loved, but it only lasted a month, due apparently to no fault of my own. I was but a pawn. Business. Where are my bargaining chips this time? Do I have any left? I think too hard that I do not. I'm generally quiet now about my homeless past, but if a question occurs in conversation that needs it brought up, I am quite open, not so quiet. I walk around town as if everyone knows. I type a cover letter as if everyone already knows. I write this poem as if everyone knows. And if you do not, you do now, right? All I know at the moment is I must come up with a few dollars or I lose my new business, which wasn't always mine. Not until I lost all of my money on a romantic getaway, until I gambled away my future, or at least several years of it. Hopefully not my final several years. And this time my actions make me only one of the losers. I try to be excited about the future. I usually am. I was, even during most of the worst of the past 5 years or so. Yet I must take this tiny org chart of mine into the next month and the next year and so on. I am so ready to 5-year plan the hell out of it that it hurts, because I need over $1,000 in cash. I used to raise more than this quite swiftly when I was homeless, and boy was it comfort. It was survival too, but there was always this dirty feeling I had just for asking. So much that I would almost always ask a bit too late for it to help as much as it could have. These days, I walk past and over my old colleagues at the shelter, familiar sidewalk figures. They need $1,000 much more than I do. I could say the same of the majority of the world's population, I presume. This is a way to bridge the gap, I think, and wonder exactly what I mean by what I just said out loud. Making good on doing something after managing my way through that, it makes it hard to find the gusto to do anything that is not giving $1,000 to anyone I see who I think needs it. But I need the money, and I mean it, and not one to feel guilty for much of anything in this life, for any extended duration of time anyway. My stomach is now twisted into knots, and I cannot bring myself to begin. panhandling. Well, this pen says, without my uttering one single word, let's put down our pity and put out a plan of action. To which Stephen Colbert responds, what else is there to do?